Welcome back to another video, everyone. My name is Donovan Wagner, and today we're going to be doing a quick editing breakdown on this photo of a Porsche 918 and how I went about changing the background in Photoshop. It's a rather easy task with a few easy to use tools, so let's get into it, guys, and I'll show you how you can do this in as little as 5 minutes. Alright everyone, before we dive into Photoshop, this is going to be a rather quick breakdown on how I went about changing the background. If you guys are more interested in learning about how I edit automotive photos in general, go ahead and click this link up here because I already have a video outlining some of my tips and tricks for that. Now, first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to find your cleanest shot of the car. So in this case, a rolling shot, it's important to find one where the car is really sharp. So what I did is I 5-starred all of the ones where the car is perfectly sharp and just really good focus. And then I went ahead and 3 or 4-starred ones that I really liked the background, because it doesn't always work out when we have such limited time shooting a car that the background is going to match the perfectness of the car. So what I do is I organize my files by 5-starring the ones of the cars that I really like, and then 3 or 4-starring whatever number you prefer of the backgrounds you like. So we're going to dive into Lightroom first, and I'll show you what I did there, and then we're going to hop over into Photoshop. So let's go, guys. Alright guys, so here we are in Adobe Lightroom, and I'm just going to minimize this a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. Alright, so this is the photo we're going to use as our example today. Now this is a side profile rolling shot of a 918 Golf livery that I recently had the opportunity to shoot in Kelowna. But the photo did not look like this originally. So this is the raw photo. And as you can see, I 5-starred this one because I really thought this one had potential for a good edit just because the car is so sharp. That's what I'm looking for when I'm looking at rollers, is just making sure that the car itself, which is the subject, is perfectly sharp. Now the background, obviously, with this U-Haul back here and this building, it just was not ideal. So what I had to do is think of another photo from this set that had a better background, because I want to match the sky, I want to match the mood, I want to match the lighting, everything. So I find it easier to try and substitute the background with something from the same day. As I said in the intro, I like to 3-star my background photos that I like and 5-star the ones of the car. Now, if we scroll over here, I'll show you the photo that I ended up using. So this one has a cleaner background because it's just basically trees, skies, and a little bit of mountains. But as you can tell, the perspective's different because this was shot from a rear quarter instead of a side profile. So all I had to do in Lightroom to correct this is go into Transform on the right-hand side. Basically, when you hover over any of these sliders, you'll see the grid show up on your screen. So I want to make sure that that barricade right here is going to be at a level perspective that would look like a side profile. As of right now, it goes across diagonally across the screen. So all I did is I grabbed the horizontal slider and I tried to move it until it basically looks a bit more straight. Now that's not going to help you right there because you lose a lot of it. So also you're going to want to crank your vertical a little bit just to bring that up closer to the level line. I think I found about plus 15, 16, somewhere in there. You can see that that barricade is now level. But the scale now, because we want to make sure that the background has enough to work with, we're going to up the scale so that it fills some of that upper part of the screen. So about there. Now, obviously this photo now is just butchered. It looks terrible, but that's okay. All we're going to be using in this photo is the trees, this mountain line, and the sky. So the next thing now is you're going to head over into Photoshop, opening both your car layer and your new background sky layer. So all you need to do is click on one and then Control or Command click on the other photo and just click Open in Photoshop. Okay, so now what we have here is our car layer, and you see it's still the raw photo with minor Lightroom adjustments. I always go ahead and first thing I'm going to do is make a background copy in which I start using my, clone tool or healing brush tool, anything like that, just so it's non-destructive and you always have a copy of the photo at your bottom. Then what I do is I go into my next one, I make another duplicate layer of this, I do my dodging and burning, I do my curves. Again, you guys can check out my other video on how I edit car photos. The purpose of this video today is how to get rid of this ugly background. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in this layer. So as you can see, this layer looks terrible because it's just a skewed, out of proportion car. But what we're going to do is we're going to mask this picture. So all I do is I use the pen tool, and this was a super easy example because there's a barricade behind the car. So all you need to do is pen tool select around the top of this barricade and then around the car itself. So the spoiler, think of every detail. This is where you take the time, you get precise with your pen tool because it's going to make a big difference in the final result. So all I did is I went around and I masked this part with the pen tool, and I'll show you what that looked like. So as you can see here, everything selected on the bottom is what I'm going to keep. So basically, once you have this all selected, you will go ahead and make a mask right here, and that will pop up over here with the white and the black. So below that layer of your mask, what you need to do is insert this photo, what we're going to use as our background. If that's below this mask, once you click this on, you'll see everything in the foreground that you pen tooled out will still be the way it was, and the only difference is this background up top will now replace the original background of the U-Haul. It's a really easy trick. The only thing I really recommend doing is taking the time with the pen tool. Really make sure you get every detail so that it turns out the best result possible. Now, obviously you could probably find a better picture to supplement this background with, but this is what I had to work with on the same day, and it's a really easy trick that only takes about 5 minutes to do. Now, another bonus tip is if you're just posting on Instagram, most likely people aren't going to be able to zoom in and see the kind of detail around here. Now, as you can see, I even took a shortcut by not worrying about this little patch between the headrest and the back of the car. But I did go in with the brush and I tried to brush in some of this area around the driver because, as you can see, before there was these blue doors from the storage units, so I just thought that would look very obvious if I didn't do that. So again, it's the little things that will make those kind of differences if people are seeing them on a bigger scale. But honestly, on Instagram and Facebook, people really won't be able to see little things like that, but it will make you feel better if you do it. Anyways, guys, that was pretty much the gist of how to go about changing a background. If you are fortunate enough to be shooting a car that has a barricade behind it on the road, it makes it especially easy. However, if there is no barricade, it's still an easy thing to do by just selecting at the top of the road right here and then feathering your mask later on. Alright guys, there you have it. That's my quick and easy tutorial on how I change out backgrounds if I don't like the original one. I hope this helps you guys in some way or another. If you guys like this kind of content, make sure you comment below, let me know, and I'll be sure to make more of them. As for now guys, that's it, and I hope you guys stay happy shooting out there. All these restrictions are finally lifted, so get out there and play with your friends and go shoot amazing things. See you guys in the next video.